We experience time as a single, straight line stretching infinitely from the Big Bang directly into the present. But that linear model is breaking down under scrutiny. A one-dimensional timeline cannot resolve the equations of quantum gravity, and it offers no mathematical reason why the universe contains exactly 3 generations of fundamental particles. To solve this, researchers are shifting the geometric foundation. Time is not a background stage for events, it is a 3-dimensional coordinate system. Within this framework, we map out 3 distinct temporal axes. They represent 3 separate scales operating simultaneously: the quantum scale, the interaction scale, and the cosmological scale. To understand how reality is actually built, we have to stop thinking of time as an arrow and start reading it as an architectural blueprint. We start at the foundation, the green T1 axis. This is the quantum scale, where fundamental vibrations and raw quantum states occur. Frequencies along the quantum T1 axis translate directly into the 3 particle generation mass ratios, 1 to 4.5 to 21. The T2 interaction scale then enters, acting as a bridge between these raw quantum vibrations and our physical world. The A model shows how these vibrations interact. Much like metronomes eventually ticking in unison, these quantum phases align, moving from individual chaos to a single synchronized field. When these phases lock together, they form reality knots. These topological structures resist breaking because their internal rhythms perfectly align, holding shape through constant movement. This is the source of solidity. What we perceive as matter isn't a static object, but the sensation of these synchronized temporal loops maintaining their structure across the T1 and T2 axes. Then we scale up to the 3rd dimension, the T3 axis. This governs the cosmological scale, dictating macroscopic phenomena like the propagation of gravitational waves and the evolution of dark energy. Weaving together the quantum, the interaction, and the cosmological scales creates the complete 3-dimensional geometric fabric of the universe. This forces a total reevaluation of reality. Matter does not sit inside this temporal framework like toys resting inside a box. Looking at this 3D surface plot, we see the intensity of coupling energy. What we measure as mass and physical energy are localized manifestations of curvature and dynamics emerging directly from the geometry of the field. From a single quark to a supermassive galaxy, the entire physical universe is simply the geometry of time expressing itself. But how does this physical structure connect to us? We know inherently that a ticking clock feels different when we are bored compared to when we are thrilled. The A model structures time hierarchically to explain this. This flowchart maps the progression, moving up the chain from abstract ordering at the bottom to physical time, all the way to subjective time at the top. The rate of subjective time relies entirely on a system's internal phase coherence. A highly organized, coherent system experiences a slower effective time, while a disordered system experiences a much faster temporal flow. When we apply this to biology, a living organism is essentially a highly synchronized network. Its subjective experience of time flows quite differently, depending on exactly how tightly its internal rhythms are aligned. Time, then, is purely an emergent process. It is generated from the bottom up, built out of overlapping, synchronized vibrations of the field. Every physical object, every cosmic event, and human consciousness itself are not things merely happening as a clock ticks. They are the multi-leveled, synchronized structures of time itself.